to the pop culture cosmos.
And we're back. We are back with another Pop Culture Cosmos. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back with you here at the Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football Game Source, and of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us. But it wouldn't be a Pop Culture Cosmos without a good friend indeed. Make sure you like and subscribe not only to my channels, give us that 5-star review wherever you get your podcast, but also Humanica Media, The Happy Hoarder, and more. It is the host of the Super BS Gamescast and all the great stuff that he does and what may be coming up in the future. It is my good friend, Mr. Josh the Great Peterson. What's up, man?
What is up? I know it seems like it's been a while. So we are here and
Vacation, man. You have been
just exhausted. So tired, man. We went to California, did all the things, drove 21 hours to get there and 21 hours back. And
defeats the purpose of a vacation, doesn't it?
It does. But yeah, I mean, we got 5 kids, man. So I mean, with those plane tickets get expensive. But I will tell you, when we got to California, I was shocked by the gas prices there. Like I think we spent about half of our vacation budget on gas, because like out here it's about $2.19 a gallon. We jumped over the border into Blythe, I think the city was called, and it was up to about $4.93 a gallon. And I guess California also voted something in a couple weeks ago that's going to up the gas prices even more. So it's crazy, man. I mean, you almost got to have a second job out there just to buy gasoline. What are the prices at in Nevada right now?
Right now, it's about 3. Well, I get the 91 for my hybrid, so it's a little bit higher. It's more expensive, right around the 350, 360 mark at Costco. 320 is for the lower end, the inexpensive end, 89 octane. So about 320. Again, I guess is the lowest price you can get around the lowest price you can get it right now per gallon. Certainly not the $2 that you're paying, my friend, but again, that's California is looking a lot more expensive than that.
Yeah. Quite, like I said, quite shocking to see those gas prices.
Well, I'll be knowing that pretty soon because I'll be heading to Northern California here early next month, so I will know your pain very shortly. In fact, actually, I knew it because we went to Laguna Beach for a couple days in May. So so definitely your pain like that. It's just seeing the prices there. It's hard, man. It's hard. Again.
Yeah, you know what's funny though? Like you're talking about Laguna Beach. How was the sky in Laguna Beach when you were there? Was it clear? Was it blue? Was it?
Oh, it was blue. It was clear. It was beautiful. It was right around 70 degrees the whole of each day that we were there. And yeah, I couldn't ask for anything better on that, man. Just brings good vibes. As a former Southern California Nian, I think it was just absolutely just what I missed. I absolutely missed it. Then I come back to 100-degree heat here. Yeah.
Gotta love it. Yeah. So me and my 2 oldest kids went down to Encinitas. So I'm a big fan of the beer company Modern Times, and I was like, I've always wanted to make that like trip down to their brewery, and we went down there. It's in Encinita. Well, the brewery's in San Diego, but it's closed. So we went to Encinitas, which is where their like mini brewery and pub is located. So we went in there, and I gotta tell you, man, like I looked up Encinitas, the sky was brown, and like I know it's like there's just so many like cars and boats and oil rigs and all stuff like that. So it's like I know there's probably like clear days down there, but like this was a really ugly day, man. It just made
that's the need for $4.50 gas, I guess.
I know, but it's just like I get out there and I miss places like Texas where anywhere you go, you look up, man, and it's just blue skies everywhere.
For now.
Yeah.
It is, of course, the Pop Culture Cosmos, and it's great to have Josh back in the fold. Thank you to TJ. I will be talking to him later this week as we preview the weekend action, including Comic-Con and also Fantastic Four. If Josh wants to touch on it today, give him all the props as well. But next week, Josh and I will not only have a review of it, handy as far as, at least on my end. I'm hoping he'll get a chance to see it too, but we'll have the first weekend results here on the show this time next week. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But Marvel, this wasn't on my docket this time this morning, or this time yesterday, my friend, because Marvel dropped a major interview without being a Comic-Con. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, also as well, is late night TV on its way out with the Stephen Colbert cancellation? We'll talk about that. Plus, some South Park drama, maybe all tying into the same thing. So we'll go ahead and talk about that. Is Superman a success? Warner Brothers, even Marvel, is talking about Superman like it was a success as far as building forward, fast tracking Wonder Woman, fast tracking Clayface, which I still don't get. Sorry, you're going to have to really sell me on Clayface. But again, fast tracking that whole universe. Is Superman truly a success? We're going to go ahead and talk about that. Plus, EA College Football. Did you even know it came out? 1 year ago, it was revered by sports fans alike because the fact it hadn't been out in over a decade, I believe. And then this year, it's now just another yearly edition. We'll talk about the thud on that. Plus, also as well, Tony Hawk 3 and 4 came out. I want to talk to Josh about that because I believe he does have a little bit of an affinity for the skating games. And also as well, is Comic-Con still worth going to this year without DC and Marvel? We're going to end the show on that as well. But first, my friend, the major news, it is Marvel. Keven Fiege, he had a sit down with several reporters. I think the most detailed part of it, you can go ahead and check out on Variety, where he talks about the future. Some of it really makes sense, which will tie into what we're talking about with Superman here in a little bit, in regards to a little bit less TV shows coming up in the future, lower budgets for the movies coming up after, Secret Wars and also Doomsday. Fun fact that he mentioned also as well, Blade still being on the horizon, that it's not dead yet. He talked about a lot of things, and then also X-Men, recasting the X-Men after Secret Wars and recasting a new Tony Stark. These are just some of the things that he mentioned over the course of a long interview with reporters, where reporters just, I guess, got rapid fire on him and just started talking about this and that, and as far as the past mistakes, what they want to do going forward. And your thoughts on this, my friend, just hearing some of that, what I said, just really just starting to dig in, because this news didn't come out until about 2 o'clock, I believe, Pacific time, from what I was ascertaining. Your thoughts on the big news from Keven Feige on the future of Marvel, and are you kind of disappointed that he didn't share this at Hall H at Comic-Con this upcoming week?
Okay, so I am, like I said before, before we started that, I just literally just found out about this. I'm trying to read the article right now, but, as for the Comic-Con question, yeah, it's sad that Marvel is not at Marvel or DC aren't at Comic-Con this year, but that's kind of the way things have been going over the past few years. But no, I mean, I think this is a better outlet for that. It's more intimate, and you're not dealing with fanfare. So he was able to say things without being hindered by the reactions of a live audience. But okay, so I'm at the part where he's talking about Kang and Charlize Theron and the Eternals.
Yes. About her possibly coming back, but also as well why they went into a different direction, as far as away from Kang as a whole.
Yeah. Sorry, I just got to that paragraph. But what? Okay, so far, all right. Let me break this down a little bit. All right, we got. He's saying that they have a plan right now that goes to the year 2032. They've started to make their movies a little bit cheaper. There are characters that they still don't. Okay, so there's going to be less television shows. So it's going to be more of like a, they were putting out 6 or 7 television shows a year. Now
Ironheart and Wonder Man were both made years ago, I believe, and they've been sitting on the shelf for a while, according to Keven Feige. Those two, Ironheart was just released, Wonder Man later this year. And then after that, outside of Daredevil, I would probably say it might be sporadic as far as any other Marvel TV shows coming back.
Yeah. So I mean, there've been some really great Marvel TV shows, but there's also been a lot of stinkers, right?
Mhm.
I thought Daredevil was good. I don't know if we agreed or not on whether or not Moon Knight was all right. Like I liked Moon Knight. Yeah, I'm I'm excited to see the Punisher come back, and I guess he said also we're gonna be seeing the Punisher in Spider-Man, so that'll be fun.
Yes.
But
Interesting mix as far as having Punisher there. But the thing is, when you talked about Miles Morales, a live action Miles Morales, oh no, Sony won't do that. He
so
basically but didn't say that Sony put the kibosh on that one. But
yeah,
you know,
he's
they're
locked up.
glad to have John Bernthal head over to Spidey Town.
Yeah, I think Charlie Cox is gonna be in it too, if I remember reading something a while back. But he also might be in Secret Wars too, so which that could be exciting. But yeah, I guess Miles Morales is still locked up in Sony, and they can't use him until after the third Spider-Verse movie comes
Which is
out. So
2027 right now.
which is 20. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
been delayed twice, I think, if memory serves.
yeah. So anyways, all right. So go ahead and just spoil the rest of the article for me. Like what's going on with everything else after that?
Well, Blade was mentioned as far as there's still going to be a future for Blade, but with Mahershala Ali, that's supposedly not dead as of yet. I know that based off the comments that were stated during the course of the Jurassic World Rebirth with Scarlett Johansson, I don't know if she was kidding about getting back all in or whatnot, but yeah, it was kind of like encouraging as far as as far as a possible return of Black Widow for a Secret Wars, for instance, a one shot type deal. I don't expect much, if any, of the main cast of Avengers and side Avengers, or anybody from that last era of Marvel movies. I don't know if any, if at all, who will survive after Secret Wars, because it is clear, according to what was stated, and this is something we've already known already as far as Secret Wars, there's going to be a reset. He said not use the word reboot. He said to use the word reset as far as that whole timeline going forward for Marvel, creating a new start for Marvel, creating a new cinematic universe. And X-Men are they're all going to be recast. He did mention also as well Tony Stark being recasted as well. So those were just some of the major things that were popped in there. I mean, it just the fact that and I had this back and forth with TJ, and I'm sure he'll discuss this with me later on this week. So be spirited about when he comes up to it, because he and I had a little bit difference. And I think go ahead and share it as far as recasting Tony Stark. And I'm not opposed to it, because Tony Stark, he's approaching 60, so Robert Downey Jr. So after the Doctor Doom stuff, he's already played one of the most important good guys and one of the most important bad guys in the Marvel universe. So I'm assuming after Doom, Secret Wars, he'll be done. But recasting Iron Man, okay, that's fine. But the importance of Iron Man, and to use TJ's words, and again, I'm going to hopefully be able to have him categorize this a little bit better. But the inference is that putting Iron Man in a certain spot, because Iron Man is not the most powerful individual in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, not by a long shot, in the comic books. And I think he is looking more towards that. I am saying that if you recast Iron Man and give him a lesser role in the universe, that is a concern to me, because you'll be possibly alienating a general audience that is so familiar, have become so adapting, have become so welcoming of Iron Man in their universe for the past 16 years, 17 years. So you tell me, my friend. That's the future, like you said, has been mapped out to 2032 so far. again, we've seen that before at Hall H and Comic-Con. It's like, instead it should be just like a whiteboard. You're like, no, this is delayed. This is not going to happen. Like get the eraser out for all the stuff. Your thoughts on this, my friend? Again, I don't mind the reset after Secret Wars. That is a wise move to create maybe a smaller, more intricate universe. But if you recast Iron Man and give him less of an importance, I have a concern that the general audience will not follow or will not appreciate it.
Yeah, well, so even in the comic books, though, you have like the staple characters always been Iron Man, Spider-Man, arguably Fantastic Four. I mean, you've had your Captain America, you've had your staple heroes in there. I think that moving away from the legacy of Robert Downey Jr. Could be a smart move, especially there's rumors of Ty Simpkins taking over the role of Iron Man, or he might end up being Iron Lad, as as seen in the comic books. But so Ty Simpkins was the kid from Iron Man 3 who's also appeared at the funeral in Endgame. But I could see like basically passing the torch to a new generation of heroes, right? Like Thor, the rumor is going around is that Thor's not going to make it out of whatever his last Avengers film is going to be. And in the comic books, Thor is always dying and coming back, so it's hard to know like what would happen with him. But I don't think we need to keep, when he says like reset, everyone's first thought is going to be, oh, they're great, they're going to reboot and just keep making the same movies over and over again. I don't think that that's the case. I think
can't say reboot,
right? I think the reset is basically them saying like, oh, hey, let's follow new characters around, right? We can bring Ty Simpkins on as Iron Man and have him lead a whole new like generation of heroes. They've got a whole sandbox now to play with. They're, after this retro Fantastic Four is done, they're gonna be recasting, making a new Fantastic Four, recasting with the new X-Men. So I mean, there's lots of stories that can be explored that weren't explored before, but I don't necessarily think they're going to be making the same movies over and over again, because I don't think that that's necessarily going to work for them.
No, but if you recast another Iron Man, he's got to have a great importance to whatever new MCU, because you've already set a certain level of expectation for audiences, general audiences. I'm not talking about again, and this is not a disrespect to you, Josh, or anybody who has been more into the comic book portion of it. When I say these things, I say them because based off my experience viewing general audiences and their preferences and their dislikes.
Yeah.
And, if you're going to recast, I don't mind them resetting the X-Men, resetting the entire Avengers, resetting the whole thing. I mean, all of these actors that we're talking about are in their 50s and will be approaching their 60s by the time, most of these actors will be by the time Secret Wars has been on the screen, Josh. So again, you have to reset, or otherwise you're going to have to get out a whole bunch of wheelchairs, canes, and other things, for them to go do battle with whoever it is. Like, are you coming? I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm going to beat him. I'm going to get him. I'm going to save today.
Yeah. So it's but I mean, you have all these like diehard fans who are like, oh, we just want Marvel. We want Chris Evans to come back. We want Robert Downey Jr. to come back. Like we've been there, done that. We've seen it. Robert Downey Jr. is already coming back in a different role. There's rumors floating around that we're going to see Captain Hydra at some point, played by Chris Evans. But I think after this, the multiverse saga is over. We've seen the highs and lows. We've seen the mistakes, and if it goes out on a high note, then I think this might be the time to like keep the heroes around without, don't reboot necessarily, keep the heroes, but have different iterations of these heroes in motion, right? Like we're seeing with James Gunn and his Green Lantern series, right? We're seeing all these different generations of lanterns coming into play. So I mean, we have the same opportunity here with with Iron Man and X-Men, and we even there's so many variations of Spider-Man out there. Like we could see the Spider-Man 2099 character. We could see
Well, there's the Noir, Spider-Man Noir that's coming to Amazon.
Noir. Yeah. We can see Ben Reilly was a Peter Parker clone that took on the mantle of Spider-Man for a while. Like, there's a lot of options there, a lot of places we could go, a lot of new adventures and stories that could be told.
Trust me, Josh, Sony will go there.
Yeah, so something's got to be done about that, man. Like, somebody stop them. But yeah, I mean, it's funny, like with Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man coming out, where there's a lot of rumors floating around that we're going to see Tom Hardy's Venom and we're going to see Charlie Cox there. Like, this is going to be like the big send off for the Sony's failed Spider-Man universe, which could be interesting, maybe not, as long as we don't have a Sam Raimi situation where they're cramming too much into one movie. But yeah, Sony.
My guess is also be that Tom Holland will not be. My guess is Tom Holland will be gone after Secret Wars as well, Josh. I think they're all gone. I think they're all.
I'm assuming that too, because I think that I don't know how long does the Sony contract just keep repeating itself over and over again, as long as they.
But it depends on if he extends it to more films. I think it's what they offer Tom Holland to, however many films, but he had a certain number of films he had to do, and then once you go beyond that, he just extends, for however many he likes to do. My guess is if everybody of the main Avengers, X-Men, they're all gone by 2027, supposedly, which is Secret Wars. Is there really, for Tom Holland, does he stay on really as the mentor to everybody else? I just think he will probably be less inclined to go ahead and do so, but he may stay on. He may be contractually needed to do so. I haven't really delved that far down the rabbit hole. But it would probably be wise if both Sony and Marvel just reset the whole thing after Secret Wars. If Secret Wars is going to be as good as they hope it is, and it gives Marvel a clear slate, it should be the entirety of Marvel. Do not do what DC is doing now. And I discussed this with TJ, how much of a mess it is when you've got Superman that's coming out that's supposed to kickstart this new universe. Oh, and by the way, the Penguin just got 24 Emmy nominations, and God forbid you would want to go ahead and not do another season of that. The Batman
finally got a script finished after all these years.
Yes, exactly. That's got to come out with a Batman 2, which is supposed to be not related to this DC universe. Keanu Reeves still wants to do a Constantine. There's other stuff coming outside the universe. So that's all a mess. It's all a mess. And we'll discuss that more in Superman, like it says. But again, I would just a clean slate for Sony and Marvel at this point in time after Secret Wars would be the best medicine.
So my question, sorry, Mike, to go back to my original question with with Sony and Spider-Man. No, Sony's rights to Spider-Man, do those just keep repeating themselves as long as they keep?
Oh, the rights itself. Okay, Mike. I do not know. I think that's as vague as that Universal rights issue with the Hulk, Josh, and the fact that they're still in Florida, and why there's no Avengers campus in Orlando is because there's a Avengers area at Universal Studios. So
it says here that the Sony has there is no end to the contract. The contract just requires that Sony makes a movie every 5 years and 9 months to maintain the rights. And if they
until Marvel and Disney decide to put out a check big enough to go ahead and satisfy Sony.
Yeah, I mean, and at this point they might as well, because Sony has lost so much money on the Spider-Man universe. Like they are so stuck on making money off the Tom Holland thing. Like I think that's kind of their only hope left with the Spider-Man universe, is to make money off the Tom Holland.
Once he goes, Josh, I would sell. Once he leaves, I would, if I was Sony.
Because I imagine that any future iterations of the Peter Parker character would have to go through or Marvel and Disney would probably buy before Sony got a chance to ruin any more Spider-Man stuff.
But that begs the question, why hasn't Disney just taken care? Because Disney recently took care of the Hulu situation because they just bought out the rest of I think from Comcast. They finally finished that deal. So once that goes through, it will all be owned by Disney. But why hasn't Disney just said to Universal, let's just end this whatever stuff that you have with the Marvel that we did in the 90s, that Marvel did in the 90s. Let's just finish it off. Let's just be done with it. Let's just, pay the check to Sony and Universal and just bring it all under the same umbrella. I don't know why that's not a bigger priority for both Disney and Kevin Feige. I just don't understand why.
It's funny because I have a feeling like had they done that before the MCU got big,
It would be a much cheaper price.
It would be a lot cheaper, yeah. But they've seen the box office revenue that the Hulk character brings in and all the films he's involved with, and they're not going to let go of that. Warner Brothers, on the other hand, was pretty eager.
But they're not making any movies with him.
No, they're not, because I think they're just writing the revenue streams from the stuff that Disney's making. Then you have on the other side of that coin, though, you have characters like Namor, right, the Submariner, who was owned by Warner Brothers all these years, and now they didn't do anything with them, and Marvel's like, oh, we're not going to touch them, and then finally they're like, how much you want for this character? And I have a feeling it went for a pretty low amount because nobody really cared or knew anything about this character. So
I guess there's supposed to be an end game for the Marvel Ultimate Universe. I guess for Universal, they did. I don't know when that will be, but there's supposed to be like at some point in time there might be a. I don't know. It just seems so weird right now.
You're talking about
it's so convoluted.
The theme park, or what? Yeah,
I think the theme park.
The rights end in 2026, so this is their last year. So even now, like, they're slowly transitioning all those characters out.
Okay, so maybe that's when the Universal deal ends, and Hulk will live.
And like you would think that they'd have the same deal that Universal has, not Universal, sorry, that Sony has, right? They have to make some sort of Hulk properties every so often, but
I just say as soon as Tom Holland leaves, make a bid. Just say, Sony, we need this back under our roof. We just want it all back under our roof. Just just name your price. $1 billion, $2 billion, whatever. Let's just get it done. Yeah. It's I think everybody's tired of it at this point, and I think they just need to move on. The whole thing needs to move on.
Yeah.
And we will get a move on date, and that's going to be after Secret Wars coming up in 2027. But Kevin Feige was really candid. He was guarded in some things, but candid in some others as far as what they were going to do. Less expensive Marvel movies, which is smart. Less TV shows, which is smart. Hopefully providing better quality universe going forward. So we will see what happens. But Blade is not dead. Well, he's not dead anyways because he's, undead.
He's undead, man.
Yes, yeah, kind of. But you guys know what I mean. Mahershala Ali still, hopefully we'll get a chance and crack at the Blade character, which was encouraging to me. X-Men will all be new after Secret Wars, new Tony Stark, and more. So I want to hear your thoughts, guys. Please let us know. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. The future for Marvel. Now, mind you, I disagree with Josh on one thing. I would have loved to have heard this spelled out mostly at the Hall H at Comic-Con, and then for specifics right after you have a press conference with the press on this. I think that would probably be both yours and my preferences on that.
Can we talk about, sorry, just before we cut to this next segment here, what he was saying about Jonathan Majors was interesting, like the Kang character. Like they did not even before
Ant-Man 3
accusations came out about him, they wanted to cut Kang out because they realized like what a boon that character was, because he was not Thanos. I mean, we talked about this, right? Like what does he have that makes him a Thanos level villain? He doesn't really have anything. He's just a human with technology on his side or time on his side. And Feige was like, we were realizing like what, he's not that kind of threat. And they were already looking for ways to write him off even before his appearance in Quantumania. So really interesting.
Very interesting indeed. But the article is now available on variety.com. If you want to check it out, both the detailed discussion that Keven Feige, head of Marvel, had with reporters, and then also as well, of course, a separate article on the X-Men and Tony Stark as far as rebooting those characters once Secret Wars ends, which 2027 right now is the target date. Late 2027, which will lead into 2028. But your thoughts out there on this whole Marvel situation? I would have loved, again, part of it, Hall H, to treat to the fans, to go to the fans on that. But then, of course, make sure you have the specifics said to press. But either which way, he was able to spell it out. What are your thoughts on the future of Marvel now that they seem to have a plan again going forward to 2032? We want to hear your thoughts on this. PopCultureCosmos at yahoo.com. Well, 1/2 hour down, 1/2 hour to go here on the Pop Culture Cosmos. It's Josh the Great Peterson, the man behind Humanica Media, Super BS Gamescast, and also as well, of course, Happy Hoarder, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciated. My friend, drama this past week. I was surprised to many about the late night TV wars. After next season, there'll be no more Late Show with Stephen Colbert, primarily run through CBS and Paramount Studios. A lot of this stems from the fact that there's still a pending merger with Paramount and Skydance Media that has been pending for quite some time. There may be political reasons, some people said on that, and I don't want to get into that. We don't get into political stuff on this show. Whatever you want to say about the content of that show or the character or Stephen Colbert as a host, he was having most likely he was either leading or second, most likely leading on most weeks, the ratings for the late night TV show between him and Kimball. They were out there. I think Gutfeld from Fox, I think as well. But still, millions of viewers each and every week, Josh, I guess couldn't hold it off from being a financial decision because it has been reported that show, despite the millions that it gets, does not earn its money back in ad revenue. Your thoughts on this? Was it a surprise? Or do you think this is a sign that late night TV viewing may be changing in the era of streaming?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors that could be playing in here. I mean, definitely some of it's politically motivated, as we've seen. A lot of the Kamala Harris thing, right? We've seen a lot of attacks on CBS. Is that the station?
Yeah, it was the lawsuit that was settled out of court
so,
between Paramount and Trump on that.
Yeah, yes. And I imagine they lost a lot of money there, so they're probably looking at
billion.
$16 billion. Yeah, they're probably looking at like, where can we make cuts? What's our least profitable area? And it probably
plus there's a merger still yet to be finalized.
Still a merger, yeah. But I mean, and it makes sense. A lot of the cost cutting is probably the late night television, because I think we're reaching a point where it's a thing of the past. Because not only are a lot of these late night television shows, like they are, for the most part, they are incredibly political in themselves, but who's staying up that late to watch this stuff anymore, and who is going there for entertainment news? Because most of the stuff you hear about, you can read about it either before or after the interview. So I mean, what exactly is the viewership happening on these things? Like, I mean, the people hosting it, like Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, they're funny people. Jon Stewart, all these guys are really funny, but I mean, is that in this era of streaming, are people really being like, I'm going to turn on my CBS All Access and I'm going to watch the Late Show, or am I going to invest my time elsewhere? So I think it's not just a financial thing. I think it's a viewership thing. They're probably looking at like, where can we cut cost? The people that bought Warner Brothers, like, they did the same thing. As soon as they got there, they looked at the stuff that wasn't making any money and they started making cuts. And I think that these late night shows is sadly a thing of the past, where that was a thing that came about in the late 70s, early 80s, and it's had a good run. But I think we've reached a point where people just aren't interested in that anymore.
Yeah, just to give you a heads up, Gutfeld on Fox News leads around 3 million. Um, Stephen Colbert does around 2 million, and so does Jimmy Kimmel. So, as you and I both know, 2 and 3 million is not,
No.
even in today's market where the market has been recessed, it's still nothing to write home about as far as that's concerned. If you're not earning the revenue, then again, if you're losing a lot of money on it, then you might be inclined to take those financial decisions. Plus, with the pending merger, you don't know what the new people coming in, what their directive is. Maybe they've already spelled it out. The Daily Show, which earned a 10-year ratings high earlier this year, that also, Jon Stewart, who heads that show, has stated he has no idea what the future of that show will be for Comedy Central going forward. So that's also interesting to see how
Yeah.
that will play itself out, because that's also under the Paramount umbrella as well, whether it's political or financial, what their future will be. And last but not least, when you're dealing with this merger that has yet to be finalized, it's still pending FCC approval and all that, which again could be financial or political, however you want to see that. South Park, that they've delayed, I think once. They may be close to delaying it twice as far as the start of their new season, pending a disagreement they have with their parent company, Paramount, and then also stemming from the fact that they were sued by Warner Brothers because they sold the rights to certain seasons of their show to Warner Brothers, and then also sold a portion of their rights to Paramount under their current umbrella, because Paramount is the one under the Comedy Central banner that they've been with for the longest. So it's kind of all murky there as well. And South Park creators Trey and Matt, they're not happy at all. So the last people you want to piss off, Josh, is Trey and Matt, because I guess they're also in negotiations to try and find a home for the show for the long term.
Yeah.
Once the contracts run out and all the litigation ends, and there's a possibility it could jump somewhere else, because I think they've got a sweet deal that they were on the cusp or verge of streaming. So they've got a sweet deal as far as streaming revenue is concerned, from what I understand, more than what most individual shows have. So yeah, they're looking to maybe going to where the grass might be greener on the other side as well. So yeah, all this drama, it's a big mess right now for Paramount. By the way, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds came out, a great show. Funny how it comes out just the week after, or a few days after, the Emmy nominations. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be remembered this time next year when the Emmy nominations come out again.
So South Park's a funny entity, right? Because like no matter where it goes, it's gonna be successful. That's why all these streaming platforms are wanting the show, right? Like I think once upon a time there was some South Park episodes on was it
HBO Max?
HBO Max, sorry, not Netflix. Yeah, HBO Max.
Yeah, because that's where they're suing. They had to pull them off, and now I guess they're, because of the issues and whatnot, they pulled them off internationally. Yeah,
but here's the thing though, like these streaming platforms have made everything a legal nightmare, right? Because I guarantee you that this happened before the Paramount merger, right? So like how whatever was in process was happening then, how would they have known about any of this stuff, and I'm sure they got wind of it, but by the time that happened, no one had told them. Like,
well, they're prepared for it too, though, Josh. They prepared for it because they 2 years ago, I think, is it 23 or 22, they got out a loan with a venture capitalist for about $800 million as I think a just in case they decide to go off on their own. So
yeah, they've always, those guys probably always have something on hand, because they definitely do not have any shortage of lawsuits. So I'm sure they've always
Casa Bonita, the arcade vendors, be unionized.
They always know. These guys are probably always like several steps ahead of everything. But yeah, I mean, there's enough South Park episodes where they could probably make their own streaming platform and be fine. South Park basketball, put those things up on on its own thing. But
Basketball, I don't think anybody
no,
survived.
but what I'm saying is like they have enough
South
content.
Park, bigger, longer, and you know the
Yeah.
rest. That was one of the greatest musicals I've ever seen. Movie
Matt and
musicals
Trey
I've ever seen.
Parker have enough content made over the past almost 40 years now to probably amass an entire streaming platform on their own. But that being said, I mean, if you this is their content, if they want out of a contract with Paramount or Warner Brothers or whoever, they should be able to do that and not have to worry about locking in another 10 years. I know they're the negotiations with Paramount right now, like Paramount was trying to lowball them and they felt like they were worth a lot more. So they got I forget, some like high rolling negotiator involved to try to make sure they get their monies. But I mean, what
There
happens?
might jump to Netflix will be involved. Amazon could be involved.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon Prime and Netflix.
Disneyland Disney through via Hulu could be involved.
Yeah, who knows? Hulu. I thought I saw South Park on Hulu one time, but anyways, I mean, the grass is greener. I mean, especially with like Paramount. Like, why do you have stuff on Paramount? Just because Paramount bought Comedy Central? Like, why are you stuck there too? So I don't know, man. I mean, it's probably a good idea to go to a platform, because what happens if the platform gets shut down? You know, like it's anything's possible right now, but you know that Netflix and HBO and Hulu are going to stay buoyant at least for the next 5 years. So they have the power. They have all the power because people want to stream South Park. People love South Park, and if they don't get the money they want, they should definitely go elsewhere.
Just imagine if that ends up on Disney Plus. If it really ends up on, just imagine a entity that was, that you could tie the lineage to Disney himself.
Well,
having a show that has mocked him posthumously on there. Yeah, that would be hilarious. Yeah, and ironic at the same time.
But it's funny, like with Disney, you have all these moms going like, oh, with that whole like Dying for Sex show that was on there. The mom's like, how dare you put this on the front page
Daredevil
of Disney Plus? But even that, man, like there's a reason, there's a separation, right? Like you're supposed to make a profile for your kids versus the stuff that you watch, because there are more adult shows that need to be advertised. And
but Disney could just no longer be off the just come to Disney for wholesome family entertainment thing. They can't live off that anymore. That cannot feed Disney Plus.
No, they
continuously in the streaming era.
Yeah, and that's not. I mean, Disney knows better than that too. I mean, look at, they own, through different subsidiary studios, they own, I want to say it's like over 50% of the adult film industry too. So I mean, like Disney's never been what am I trying to say? They've never been exactly squeaky clean, but we're moving to this new era though, where people want more. They want more content, and you can't always stick within the bubbles of the things that moms want from you.
So I want to hear your thoughts, everyone, on this as far as is late night TV show. Well, let me ask you this. Let me finalize this. Is the end near for the traditional late night TV shows, in your opinion, after what you've heard about Stephen Colbert? I've told you the numbers, 2-3 million seems to be the highest that these late night TV shows seem to go. Is there a future for late night TV as the traditional format that we've been seeing for decades now?
I think that these guys, I think late night television shows are done, but I also think that, like, hey, we are these people that do these shows, like, they have enough they have enough following now to go the route that like Bill O'Reilly and some of these other people who were removed from news stations when they just made their own internet shows. They did their own podcasts, and they're all doing just as well as they were before. So I mean, I think there are definitely other avenues for these types of things to exist, but I think that continuing to pump money into things that people aren't watching is probably not the best idea.
We will see what happens, my friend. It's going to be very interesting about this merger between Paramount and Skydance and the fallout. How many shows? Star Trek, for instance. I mean, right now it's Star Trek Strange New Worlds guaranteed through season 5. The Star Trek Academy, supposedly, I think it's coming later this year. They've already been doing, filming for it. So, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. We will see, but it's going to be interesting as far as the future for late night television and all that. But if you have thoughts on the whole late night television, Paramount, Skydance, South Park drama, all this stuff that's going on relating to Paramount and Skydance, that merger and the
Yeah.
fallout from it, please let us know. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Well, my friend, before we head on out, I wanted to go ahead rapid fire on some stuff. Superman won the box office this weekend internationally and worldwide. It basically didn't have much when your competition is the Smurfs. I Know What You Did Last Summer, the reboot, and Eddington, which is very divisive. That takes place in 2020 at the height of COVID in a small Texas town between a battle between a sheriff and a mayor, as far as him running for re-election. With Pedro Pascal, yes, he's in another movie, and Joaquin Phoenix. That didn't provide much competition for Superman, as it lost about a little over 50%, but it has right now, Josh, about $235 million domestically and about $400 million worldwide. But the way, if you heard this from Warner Brothers, if you heard this from even Marvel, because Marvel, Kevin Feige talked about the success of Superman. The ratings for Superman, it's got still around the 70 on Metacritic, so it's been thought of fairly well. I thought of it fairly well. I don't know though if you hear the talk about Warner Brothers being it being a massive success, blah 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 blah. We're now going to expedite everything going on. Supergirl's already been fast tracked for next year. Clayface going to try and get a Wonder Woman as far as in the not too distant future. Start talking about their own version of Batman, etc., etc. All that fast track. I would say, hold on a second. The reported budget for Superman was between $225 million and $363 million, depending on who you go to, what source you need to.
Right.
Let's just say it's on the lowest end, my friend. $225 million. You would still, using my traditional 3.5 times whatever the reported budget is, just to break even. You'll need it to go close to $700 million just to break even.
Right. Yeah.
Right now, this looks to be getting about $600 million at the most. And I'll tell you why. It's not the domestic that scares me. It's the fact that Superman is considered by a lot of people outside the United States as an American superhero. The international numbers aren't really rolling in to the level that is going to support $700 or more million as of this time. May change, but I'm targeting somewhere in the sixes. So I don't know if you would call this a success enough to be the foundation for a universe going forward.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, man, because like Superman is an American hero. Like it was Superman, much like Captain America, was designed as a propaganda character, and that's part of like American history. So I don't see Superman being something that really hits overseas. According to Kevin Feige, Superman's been a success. So I mean, I don't know what that means, but
I don't know if the numbers really match up with being a success. I mean, it's got good vibes. It's got a lot of people excited. That's true. And for that, yes. But is it like a little bit of smoke and mirrors, where if you just look behind a little bit, you might see that there might be a little bit of like you said, propaganda, propping up something here that may not be as quite as well performing as some people are thinking.
Yeah, I mean, they've already dumped millions of dollars into this like new universe or kickstarting, and we're in the summer, so I mean, there's that weird time of the year where box office numbers climb a lot faster on off days than they would normally. Like, what are we sitting at 406 million right now? We're climbing up on Captain America. I mean, if it can go over 500 million, I would say that would be sure. I mean, that's probably a successful movie, but right now it doesn't
Well,
look like.
not to the guys with the budgets, because again, when I go to 3.5 to 1, traditionally what I was taught and what I've learned is because you don't, when you go internationally, you don't always get the same cut of the film. The movie company does not get the same cut of the film depending on the region, depending on the market, especially China.
Yeah.
In China, they don't get nearly enough of a cut as they do in the United States. So the 3.5 1, but plus also you didn't factor in, whatever the promotional costs were as well. So that's why I'm saying I think 700 million is probably where you would say the break even point is, and I'm not sure it's breaking even. Although if it gets close enough, it will make its money back in home video and streaming. So is that still enough of a hit, for lack of a better term, to make a universe off of?
Yeah, I don't. I. It's hard to say. So I'm supposed to go see Superman tomorrow night. So I'll have a better idea on what that looks like. But this, from what I understand, though, I mean, it's an okay movie, but it's not anywhere.
I liked it.
Yeah, it's not spectacular, but people are coming out saying like, "Oh, it's pretty good." So,
I mean, is that the way you start a universe? Oh, that's pretty good.
Right. I mean, and maybe starting this universe with Superman was not like the best idea. Maybe there are other
Tried to do
heroes
it last time, didn't it?
Yeah, but that's it though. Like it's the same thing over and over again. Like, oh, we're gonna. It'd be like if the MCU failed and they just kept trying to start it over again with Iron Man. Like maybe there's another hero they could have done instead of introducing Superman. But again, like I haven't seen the movie, so I can't really like say whether or not it was good. But yeah, okay is not like enough to launch a multi-million-dollar universe.
We will see what happens, my friend. But they're going full steam ahead, and we'll see what happens. But Superman, do you think it's a success out there? Please let us know. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. We got about 8 minutes left, my friend. Wanted to cover a couple of video games. Did you realize EA College Football came out 10 days ago? Because if you didn't, I can't say I blame you, because EA did very little, advertising for this, coming off the fact that EA College Football last year is one of the best-selling games of the year. Kind of funny how that works out now that it's just an every year game, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I had no idea. So I mean, that's kind of the same. That was the same with the last release too, though. I didn't know about it until 2 weeks before it came out. So,
but the thing is, it was such a massive hit because it's the first time college football had been introduced as a video game in over about 10 years, I think, if memory serves. So I think the last one was EA College Football 2014. I think, if that's the case. If I may be wrong, you guys could correct me in the comments if that's the case. But just seemed kind of weird. But another callback, Tony Hawk 3 and 4 came out recently to Xbox and PlayStation, all that. Where can you go, Josh, if you want the best version of it at the most affordable price?
Game Pass.
Answer is correct.
Yes.
You want to spend $50 on it? By all means, on PlayStation 5. But just saying.
Yes.
Just saying. It's just part of Game Pass. If you want to go ahead, pop it in there, but that's up to you guys. But Tony Hawk's 3 and 4, getting okay reviews, right around 80, 82 on Metacritic. So yeah, if you have thoughts on that, please let us know. Or EA College Football, which is also this year's iteration, getting around 80, 82. So solid games coming out as we head into August, and Madden. So college football is just about ready to get trounced by Madden, because now that's an every year release. You know what they spend their money on in advertising? It's going to be Madden. So we will see what happens as college football has come out, and Tony Hawk's 3 and 4, the reboot of that. Go ahead, the remake of that. If you can't say reboot, according to Keven Fiege, remake.
No reboots, man. Yeah,
no reboots indeed. Yep. But if you have thoughts, please let us know. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Well, my friend, Comic-Con is this weekend. You and I will report next weekend on the aftermath of Comic-Con. Although with DC and Marvel not being there, is it still worth going to, my friend? I'm going to say yes. For me, it would still be a great experience. I am still trying to get it off my bucket list. Each year, they don't ever give me an answer when I go ahead and request. They tell me each year I can go to WonderCon, but they never give me a straight answer on Comic-Con. So again, this year I got no answer from them every time I tried to inquire about it. But there are quite a few panels that are still there. And George Lucas, when I first read this, my friend, I did not know George Lucas had never been to Comic Con. Even the days when Star Wars was, or the Star Wars was introduced at San Diego Comic Con. With the, if you have those T-shirts, by the way, the yellow Star Wars, the Star Wars T-shirts, I'm sure you've got a lot of money coming to you if you want to sell that off. But George Lucas has never been to Comic Con. What the heck, man?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of a weird place for him not to have been.
But he does his first panel there. Also, as well, some of the major shows, Twisted Metal, Toxic Avenger. There are going to be quite a few panels that are there. So Coyote versus Acme, which is actually now a thing because it got sold away from Warner Brothers. Alien Earth will be there. Their premiere will be there, and then they'll do a Q&A there. Peacemaker season 2, so John Cena will be there. Predator Badlands is going to have one there. Tron Ares. I hope you got a chance to see Tron Ares. I got a chance on the last show with TJ for him to see Tron Ares and Mortal Kombat 2 while on the air as far as those trailers. I'm hoping you're digging it just as much as I do with Tron Ares, my friend. They will be at Comic-Con as well.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. Like, there's so much other good content coming out that I think we're moving beyond a space where you have to have Marvel and DC at a comic convention in order to be like a smash hit. I think we've exited that arena.
There's also going to be like Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Project Hail Mary. I mentioned Toxic Avenger, The Long Walk, It, Welcome to Derry. A lot of TV shows with the Comic-Con themes that they like. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff still going on there. So please go ahead and check it out if you get a chance and you're able to. I even know that there's a little bit of disappointment that there's no true Marvel and DC Hall H Comic-Con events that are going to be taking place. So that's a little bit of a disappointment, but still, people, go ahead and have fun. And please let us know your thoughts on Comic-Con. We will give you the update on any major news this time next week on Comic-Con, and we'll even preview it a little bit more coming up here later this week on the PC Multiverse. But before we head on out, my friend, wanted to go ahead and ask, have you seen K-pop Demon Hunters on Netflix as of yet?
I have not. What's going on with that?
Well, it has stayed consistently for weeks now in the top 3 on Netflix's most viewed charts. It continues to strengthen Netflix's hold on the anime genre. And as a movie musical, I got almost the same feeling I did when I watched South Park, mentioning South Park again, bigger, longer, and uncut. That South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut was the greatest movie musical I have ever seen. K-pop Demon Hunters, pretty darn good, my friend.
All right, well, maybe I'll have to sit down and check this out.
I was pleasantly surprised. Overall, if you like musicals or you just like the fact that it's good, well done anime. The animation is really good. So please let us know if you get a chance to see K-pop Demon Hunters. Actually, I did an episode last week on K-pop Demon Hunters, and it was our biggest episode of the year as far as downloads are concerned. So I'll tell you what, people are loving K-pop Demon Hunters. And if you are as well, please let us know. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Well, my friend, it's been a great episode, but any last thoughts before we head on out?
No, I'm trying to catch up on summer movies, man. I still got to go see Jurassic Park. I'm seeing Superman tomorrow, and then I got to watch Fantastic Four. So
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I mean, there's I'm far behind, man, on that sweet summer box office. So playing catch up right now, and at the end of the summer, we'll break down the best summer movies. I think would be cool.
That will be cool indeed. I will be watching on Thursday and then hopefully again with the whole family, but I will be seeing if I can get you guys for our weekend show my thoughts, if possible, on Fantastic Four. We'll go ahead and make sure, see if I can time it out with TJ just right. If I can't, I'll get it to you, my full thoughts on Fantastic Four this time next week on the Pop Culture Cosmos. So for Josh the Great Peterson, this is Gerald Glassford. It's another beautiful day in paradise right here in the Pop Culture Cosmos. Thank you for listening. And here's hoping you have yourself a great day.
Welcome to the Pop Culture Cosmos.